Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from gorgeous, sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about improving your land before selling it. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? We definitely have different ideas about this.
Well,
but our goals are the same, I think.
Exactly.
Get in that piece of property, get out of there, and convert it to cash.
I agree. That's what we all want.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Travis asks, in one of the Land Academy podcasts, I recall Jack saying that for vacant land, not houses, perhaps we should ignore the days on market on Zillow and similar sites as it's not relevant/accurate. At the same time, however, when researching a new county to mail to, we are instructed to find a county where property seems to be selling rather quickly to identify a hot market.
That's it.
Right? But if LandWatch and similar sites don't provide this data, the limited RealQuest Pro sales data only gives the date sold, not the date the property is listed for sale.
That's right.
We are to look past days on market on Zillow and Trulia, and data for the region is not provided on Redfin, then how are we to know how long property is sitting on the market? How do we identify a region where property sells quickly? I perused the forums on this topic, but I have yet met with a satisfactory answer.
We're going to give you a satisfied answer here.
Have I overlooked something?
Nope.
I'm able to identify counties that I qualify for based on price, but how to determine how long properties take to sell? So I just pull data and find a place where a lot of properties closed in the last few months, or leave it at that? Or is there a technique with more finesse? Always appreciate your help, as always, everyone. Cheers. That was a good long question.
Yeah, I mean, Travis
well
is a long time member, very successful. He's like third or fourth generation land subdivider in Texas. So he really knows. He came to us with a tremendous amount of knowledge. Plus, he's one of the funniest people I've ever talked to.
Good.
So here's the deal. What you're describing is the whole concept that caused us to launch Land Academy 2.0. Mm-hmm. Land Academy 2.0 is all about buying urban land, not rural land, because of this fact. I have, in all of my experience, not been able to locate a good place to find completed sales or true old school comparison values for rural vacant land. And here's why. It's not because the data's looked at differently or handled differently by assessors. None of that. It's all handled the same way. The further out you go, there's just no comps.
Right.
There's not 25 sales in a rural county in Texas every day like there is in an urban county.
Well, I gotta wonder too how many transactions are off market of this property type.
Yeah, very few.
That make a difference
lots.
too?
I mean, very lots.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking too.
It hits the assessor no matter what.
It's not like it hits the assessor, but it's not like it hits the MLS. So much of what we do does not hit the MLS.
Right.
By design, part of it is the properties are not worth doing the MLS. We are all doing them different ways, so there's not as much out there to find.
Right. So, I mean, if you're looking at completed sales from like in RealQuest and in agent data tree, mm-hmm. the sales those are theoretically supposed to be driven by the assessor.
Right.
Whether or not they're up to date recording that stuff, who knows?
Right.
But I'll tell you this: the more urban you get, the better data you get.
Right.
And if you have in our group, more data that you have, the better the whole thing's going to turn out for you. The more you remove the risk from, not striking gold,
right,
in your acquisition. So, again, this is what prompted me to launch Land Academy 2.0. It hasn't launched yet. We're recording it right now. It's launching when? September or something like that?
Yes.
September, October.
Yeah, the first wave we'll get at our live event in September. You can see that on landinvestorslive.com. And then the second wave, our intermediate event in October.
Right.
They'll get it. And then after that, all the rest of the Land Academy members will get it.
Right. So I hope that answers your question. It's not you, Travis. And believe me, I obsess on this topic. I obsess on, and I never stop trying to improve how and where we get data and how we look at it and how we use it to do really, really intelligent acquisitions. So what I hear you saying is that you're mentally ready for buying urban property.
Yeah.
And never stop buying rural property because it's next to free. Exactly. But urban property, man, you know exactly what it's going to sell for. Here's the other thing about buying urban property. The taxes are a lot higher, which really motivates people that aren't using the property, let's say on an infill lot, let's say, or a commercial piece of property that you've inherited. The taxes could be $10,000, $20,000 a year.
Right.
You want to just continue to pay that bill? No. Our strike percentage on urban infill lots is incredible.
Right.
So I'm excited actually about Land Academy 2.0.
2.0.
Hey, today's topic is improve your land before selling it. This is the meat of the show. So you got a piece of property. Congratulations. You bought it for next to nothing. The whole thing works.
Yeah.
Joe and I constantly get emails from people who says, "Oh, it turns out this works. Thanks very much. It's changing my life." Of course it works. You send out a bunch of letters and you get one back or several back. You buy a piece of property and you're looking at it. This happens, especially with new people. You're looking at the property and you always have this thought, what if I put a house up on this thing?
Right.
What if I put a tiny house up? What if I put a fence around it?
What if I staked it out even?
What if I bladed a road in? Right from the county road? Would that make it more valuable?
Exactly.
That's what this whole week is about. It's about improving your property. Mm-hmm. So here's the big picture concept. This is actually the takeaway, if you only listen to one thing in the whole show, really the whole week, it's this.
Yeah, you're done after this.
Should you or should you not improve your property when you buy it? And I think you should not, 99.8% of the time. What do you think?
I go with whatever you say. What are you talking about?
Here's why.
I agree. I mean, I don't, it's because, it's like, I look at it like this way. If you have a house and you go through all the efforts of putting a pool in the backyard, we all know that spending $50,000 on a gorgeous pool is not going to raise the exact sale price of the house by $50,000. So I look at it like that with land.
That's a perfect example.
Okay, thank you.
Carrying that example forward, we also all know that if you put a new kitchen in and new bathrooms in, you might get $50,000 more for the house because everybody wants kitchens and bathrooms, but it's not going to cost you $50,000.
Right.
So there's money well spent, and there's things you can do that actually improve it, and things that I think that outweigh the benefit, like putting a new driveway in silly. That no one cares about that. So with land, this is a question you have to ask yourself. I bought this property for $25,000. I know I can sell it for $40,000 right now. I don't have to do anything to it. I just have to put it out on the internet. And make sure that all the other landowners around that property know that it's for sale.
Right.
Bang, there's my $40,000. I'm on to the next deal.
Exactly. Or
I could spend 6 months blading a road in or putting a mobile home on there and taking perfect pictures and obsessing on it like
getting
a lot of people do.
Doing it all the right way.
And now you're taking a lot of risk. You don't know if the stuff's going to get approved. Right. Are the neighbors going to complain? There's a lot of variables. You're opening yourself up to a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you just buy it and resell it exactly how it is, and you explain to anybody who's interested in buying the property, here's what's possible. Don't know.
Or you don't know. That's
anything
true.
about this property. I just bought it. The only reason I bought it is just to sell it. Or can I get my Toyota, my 1979 Toyota, and then they launch into a personal story for a half hour? And the answer is, I don't know.
You know what I say? Well, I tell them just to do their homework. I will say what's in the posting, however it's zoned, that's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Smith, it's zoned this. If you have any more questions about that and how long that means you can leave your RV, I don't know. Call the county.
Yeah.
And then let them do the homework. And then I also explain to them that, here's why it's priced this way. That's the biggest thing for me. I didn't mean to step on your toes.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
This is good.
So here's why it's priced this way. Because I'm not doing that work. You might have a diamond in the rough here, kind of thing. I'm here to buy and sell wholesale. And if you want to do all this great stuff, Tiff, go for it. And, is it really priced under everything else? Yeah, because that's my business, and I wish you all the best. And they'll go, oh, okay, I got it.
Oh, so it really is a smoking deal. Just that's another reason. People, when property's priced really cheap, believe it or not, they want to know what's wrong with it.
They do. They often think that there's something. Yeah.
So here's what's wrong with it. Nothing.
Exactly.
I just don't know what's possible.
And I'm not going to do the work. And you are going to win. When you get them to understand that, your buyers, which is really true, when you can explain, here's why I'm not going to do that much work. And if I did it, here's what it, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We could all check and see what it costs. And at the end of the day, we all know that if I did it, if I sell or do this stuff for you, I'm going to mark it up,
Yeah.
And nobody wants that.
Here's the other thing. If you buy a piece of property, here's the time frames that are usually involved in rural vacant land. You send out a mailer. By the time you send the mailer in to the mailing company, by the way, we own a mailing company called offerstowners.com. And I know this from experience. Once we receive the mailer itself and do whatever needs to get done and make sure that the addresses are, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that actually nobody talks about. From that time that it's submitted to the time that the actual owner gets it and reads it and makes a decision is about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got 2 weeks. Then the stuff starts to hit, and then you buy some property. And if everything goes well, it's going to take you maybe 30 days to buy the property. From the time the mailer goes out, you can get a deal done in 2 weeks really easy the way that we do it and the way that we teach it. Then, let's say it takes you, another 30 days. This is real conservative to sell it.
Yeah.
So you buy it for, I don't know what my example was, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, and you sell it for $40,000. So it's
You're talking info lots.
No, I'm talking rural acreage, anything. Not super cheap property, because that even goes faster.
Right.
I'm trying to be realistic.
That's how I was going. I'm like, I don't know where you were getting the 30 days, meaning you use escrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just say by the time from the day you send the mailer out to the day you sell the property, cash in and cash out is usually 30 days.
That's
60
perfect.
days is usually the whole process after you know what you're doing.
Right.
So every 30 days you make 10 grand, 20 grand.
Mm-hmm.
You do the math on that. It's $250,000 a year, or
Right.
between 120 and $250,000 a year. I'll tell you this right now from experience. That first piece of property, you're sitting there looking at it going, man, it needs access, better access. I'm going to blade a road in.
Right.
It's going to be a year later before you go and sell that property. And you're going to sell it. You're going to sell that $25,000 piece of property
Right.
for not 40, maybe 70.
60? Okay.
60, 70.
All right.
Maybe 80, let's say. And
Okay.
all you had to do instead was never leave your desk.
Do 2 of them.
Do like 10 in the time you can do one, because you're horsing around obsessing on this one piece of property. Why? Because you want to maximize the value out of your real estate deal. Because this is what people have been telling you since you're a kid.
Yeah.
That property's worth more than that. No, it's not.
Exactly.
It's not worth more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to liquidate and wholesale and just keep it moving? Keep the money moving? Or do you want to obsess like a real estate agent? Obsess on this one property.
Exactly.
And make sure all the caulking in the whole house is perfect.
And then put the sign out front.
Make sure the concrete is stained and painted in the garage.
Exactly.
No, you don't want to do any of that stuff. That's not why we're here. If that's the kind of stuff you want to do, there's a ton of other places to learn.
Right.
It's not from us.
Thank you. Do you want to use our example, like of what we're doing right now on one of our houses, or do you want to save it for another show?
Well, there's a parcel split show coming up.
Okay, so
this week is what you can do to the property. We got that out of the way.
Okay, got it.
I don't believe that you should actually improve property almost ever.
Yeah.
I think you should just resell it because you're so good at acquisitions. The best thing you can do to a piece of property is buy it cheap. Then you don't have to improve it.
Right.
If you buy it retail out of the MLS, you better have a better plan to improve it.
Can I add one more thing too?
Heck yes.
One of the nice things about what we do is we're all investors, right? So we're not agents. We're not anything like that. We're not licensed. We're buying and selling our own land. We're not representing anybody else, only ourselves. So got that out of the way. Now, the second thing is the less you know, the less you share. And it's
love this.
Doing the right thing. No, I'm serious. If I don't try to dig up dirt or dig up, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
If I go into it and I don't mean to skip along the top, but I obviously know enough about the property that it passed my test that I bought it. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, I loved it enough. I plopped down the cash to pay for it. So if anything goes sideways and I really can't sell it, I'm stuck with it. So I really went into this with very good intentions. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah.
Flat out. So I can, with good faith, I'm feeling good about it, pass this on to the next person. Passed all my tests. Here's everything that I did. I wish you well. So I guess the point was, that's another reason to not try to dig and improve it and all that good stuff. Yeah, you just don't want to go there. You just want to get in, get out.
You want to be an acquisition specialist.
And a selling machine.
Yeah, you don't want to be a property specialist.
Yeah.
If you're a property specialist, again, this isn't for you. We are acquisitions here. We are data-driven acquisitions. So that's why Travis's question was so important early on. The more information you have about a market, then the better you know days on market, the information that's available on urban neighborhoods and urban counties in this country is staggering. It's staggering. Land Academy 2.0 addresses all this, and then a program we're launching next year, House Academy, takes that to a whole new level where you analyze 10 or 15 statistics on that actual local market by zip code. You know what's going to happen.
Amazing.
You know if you buy a house or a piece of property, a piece of land in these little micro markets for 20% of what stuff is being sold for, which happens Jill and I do it all the time.
Right.
You can't lose.
Exactly.
Unless there's some huge issue. So you don't have to do any improvements. You don't have to do anything. We buy houses all the time and we put a lockbox on there, the kind you get from Home Depot.
Exactly.
Not like a realtor lockbox. It's all highfalutin and special.
Yeah.
It's a simple lockbox.
Yeah.
And we send it out to our list and the thing sells in 5 days.
Exactly.
Because it's such a smoking deal. We didn't even clean it out.
No, we didn't.
We have a house right now that's got cockroaches and dead cats in the
There's no dead cats.
They said there's dead cats.
Oh.
Not cats, but large rodents. They're so dead they can't tell what they are.
Okay, moving on. That's awful.
You didn't hear
I don't know about
There was a
that.
conference call yesterday on this whole thing.
All right, let's leave that out.
We're actually clean. That said,
We might clean that part.
we are actually cleaning that out.
That's the only time we clean.
Okay, now Jill's done with this episode.
I'm done.
Dead cats.
You bring up dead cats, now I'm out.
Well, you did it again. You spent another 15 minutes or so listening to the Land Academy show. Join us next time where Jill and I talk about splitting parcels 101. If you have to improve your property, if you absolutely can't handle it, like the Rain Man, you have to do something, you can't control yourself, split the property up.
Got it. And we answer your questions posted on landinvestors.com. It is our own personal online community and it's free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. What do you think about this new video format?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I'm letting you decide.
I mean, the numbers come back good, really good, but I don't know. It's a whole different process, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, for people who are listening to us right now on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you're listening, we are also recording this in video format. So you can probably find it off our social media or find it easily on YouTube if you go to Land Academy, the YouTube channel. So please let us know. How about this? Let me take this a step further. You listener, if you would, please take 3 minutes when you get home from your commute right now where you're listening to this. Just go onto YouTube tonight as you're laying in bed, pull up Land Academy, subscribe, and then say yay or nay. And depending on your opinion, because we do get them and we do read them, we'll either get these off the air or we'll keep them going. Let us know, yeah, it looks good, or no, don't do that ever again.
They're going to say, can you pan in on Jill?
No.
And Steve, just take yourself out of the frame.
No. No. Oh, my goodness. And so thank you. I kind of covered that. So please share the fun by subscribing on iTunes or wherever you're listening. And while you're at it, like I said, just rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.